Episode 3 of Pet Shop of Horrors is called Despair. In this one, centers around actor Robin Hendricks. Probably a play on Jimi Hendrix, but really this character, I believe, is supposed to be Mark Hamill from Star Wars. This episode is based on the manga that comes from Volume 1 that came out in 1994. And Robin Hendricks was a famous actor back in the day for the movie Space Wars. But he's fallen on hard times and can't really get any acting work. Like I said, I think this one is definitely harping on Mark Hamill, who did have a bit of a lull in his career after Star Wars. However, he is an amazing voice actor and was able in the 90s and 2000s to find a new wind doing voice acting. Specifically, he did an amazing job as the Joker in the animated Batman movie Mask of the Phantasm, then reprised his role as the Joker for Batman Beyond.
Mark Hamill just nailed that part perfectly. When the second we heard that scary laugh, we knew he had the Joker.
And then started getting a lot more voice acting roles, especially in Studio Ghibli movies like Castle in the Sky and Nasaki of the Valley of the Wind. But it is definitely true, after Return of the Jedi, there was a lull in Mark Hamill's career. Luke Skywalker himself, a lot of people completely wrote off as a has-been. Mark Hamill's next movie after Return of the Jedi was Slipstream. That cost $15 million and made, get ready for this, $66,000 at the box office. Yeah, people thought he was done. This episode of Pet Shop of Horrors starts out differently. We see that Robin Hendricks has died. They're doing a Sunset Boulevard scenario. We see him dead in the beginning, and then they work backwards to show us how he died, as opposed to the other two episodes where the guy's alive and then basically dies at the end. I guess they got tired of doing that. Quentin Tarantino flashbacks.
I got a victim's body torn apart by an animal, species unknown. I got another body drained of all blood. MOs are all different, but each case has one thing in common. Each victim was a customer of the pet shop.
And Robin Hendricks loves reptiles, so he goes, of course, to the Pet Shop of Horrors to get some reptiles. And he is given a beautiful woman named Medusa. And once again, Count D gives him 3 things that he should never do.
What do you think?
If this is a joke, I don't find it funny. My wife just left me. The last thing I need is to start dating.
Your Highness, please look carefully. It's a lizard, a subspecies of a very rare type indeed, and albino on top of that. Of course, we had an agreement. He signed this contract. There were 3 sales terms. 1, the customer may only feed her fresh fruits or small animals on a daily basis. 2, the customer may not show her to anyone. And 3, the customer must never look into her eyes. Should any of the terms be breached, the pet shop will not assume responsibility for the consequences. As you can see, he signed it.
Count D always has 3 things you're not supposed to do, but there's really one that you really aren't supposed to do. In the case of this, it's to make sure never to remove the blindfold that is around the Medusa's eyes, since her stare is lethal. Since we know he's going to die, we get to enjoy the unfolding of the story and see him go to some unsuccessful auditions, and the whole thing has a lot more of a melancholy attitude towards it. There's not as much up and downs. Mr. Robin Hendricks himself seems to be okay with this outcome. Knowing that he shouldn't remove the blindfold from the Medusa, he sort of accepts his fate and seemingly knows that this is going to hurt him or kill him. At this point, it seems that he's given up on his career and has accepted it. Whatever fate is going to befall him from this reptile. So this one comes off a bit sadder, but it also doesn't have the highs and lows of the other 2 episodes. Personally, I think it's the worst episode so far, but they're all really good. I haven't been given these scores, but they really would all get an 8 or a 9. I still think the one before this is the best episode, since it really actually keeps you guessing with the mystery story. Whereas this one, you already know he's going to die. And the Medusa is probably the least original monster we've seen so far. We know exactly what's going to happen when he removes the blindfold, as opposed to the previous 2 episodes.
I want you to look at me. Don't be afraid. Look at me. It's okay.
So we get a Romeo and Juliet scenario where the Medusa, apparently if she looks in a mirror, also dies as well. So they both die. And it really does seem like he kind of did this on purpose. After failing an audition, he accepted his fate, that he was never going to be a big star again, and wanted to look into the eyes of his lover. I just can't seem to find the words to describe this episode. It's sad. Despair. It's called Despair for a reason. It's by far the most depressing. Because nobody in this episode even wants to fight for their life. They're just giving up, which puts you in a state of despair.
You see, he died in his prime before getting old. Show business can be a very cruel and ugly world. Robin chose to live a short but spectacular life and to die before he woke up from his dream. He's a screen legend. A star is born.
So, looking at the manga that this is based on, like the first two episodes, there's a lot more tropical locations in the manga that they're just not willing to animate, especially this pet shop with all this stuff growing around it. And we don't get to see much of his apartment either, where he apparently has tons and tons of reptiles and kind of a tropical environment in his own apartment. But the manga is quite a bit better than this anime adaptation is, since you actually see the main character have a lot more emotions. He's just completely emotionless in the anime. You don't even really see any of his motivations. Here they make it a lot more clear. He's a retired actor that is really only known for his looks. He knows he's good looking, but everyone says he sucks as an actor. Once again, this is written in 1994. They're playing on Mark Hamill. A lot of people would say he's good looking but can't act. However, this was before the prequels, and we got to see the amazingness of Hayden Christensen, and anyone who said Mark Hamill couldn't act in the original series completely forgave him. And he has much more of an attachment to Medusa, rather than just kind of going through life with no emotions, not really caring about anything. He actually feels really attached to Medusa, and the reason is because he has an overbearing girlfriend, and the Medusa, as he says here, doesn't talk. So he really likes that. She's good looking and doesn't talk, which is what he's looking for. And they really could have put this into the anime, since the manga is a lot shorter and has much less dialogue. It's a comic book. It's interesting that they don't put this dynamic in here, though they do steal entire passages from the manga and put in the anime, but they don't have the parts where he has an overbearing girlfriend and really likes this Medusa because she's quiet and leaves him alone, especially with his crazy pet situation he has going on here, where he's doing a Dr. Dolittle situation in his own apartment with all these reptiles. And he comes across as kind of a metrosexual actor who people are saying is not popular anymore, but he still feels like he can do it. And when he fails the audition, just like in the anime, this time he actually feels really, really bad about it and gets more depressed. So overall, the manga is much better than the anime, but both are pretty good. And Despair, just like the first episode, Daughter, is in volume 1 of the manga. Next up, we have the next episode. Well, the last episode, and it's called Duel. Check out our playlist for all episodes of Fear Itself, which is finished, Monsters, which is finished, Tales from the Dark Side, more than halfway through, Cowboy Bebop, Pet Shop Horrors, which is almost done, and Black Mirror. We'll finish those and then start Mystery Science Theater 3000. Thanks a lot.